A bank executive is investigating your bank account right now. They discovered something that has triggered multiple red flags in their system. Large amounts of money have been deposited into your account through checks. These deposits came from a source that has raised serious concerns within the bank's compliance department. The executive reviewing your case has never seen anything quite like this before. The pattern of deposits doesn't match normal banking activity. Something about these transactions has caught their attention in a way that could change everything. This investigation is happening whether you know it or not. Your account is being reviewed at this very moment. The decisions being made could affect your financial future in ways you never expected. The bank's automated monitoring system flagged your account 3 days ago. Advanced software detected unusual deposit patterns that don't match your normal banking history. The executive assigned to your case has been studying these transactions for hours. They're trying to understand where this money came from and why it's flowing into your account. Have you noticed any strange calls from your bank lately? Maybe emails asking you to verify recent activity? Perhaps you felt something was different when you checked your balance online. These could be signs that the investigation has already begun. Banks don't usually contact customers directly during the early stages of these reviews. The executive handling your case specializes in financial compliance. They've seen thousands of accounts, but something about your situation has made them dig deeper. This isn't a random audit. There's a specific reason your account caught their attention. If this investigation goes the wrong way, your account could be frozen within 48 hours. All your funds would become locked while they complete their review process. Banks have strict rules about suspicious deposits. When compliance officers can't verify the source of money, they're required to take immediate action to protect the institution. The executive reviewing your case has the power to make decisions that could impact you for months. Account freezes can last weeks or even longer depending on what they find. Your credit score could be affected if the situation escalates. Banks report certain activities to credit agencies. When investigations reach specific levels, time is running out to understand what's happening. The executive is building a case file right now. Every hour that passes, more documentation gets added to your review. If they can't verify these deposits by tomorrow, the automatic systems will trigger additional security measures. Once that happens, resolving the situation becomes much more complicated and time-consuming. Like this video right now to unlock the insider information that could protect your financial future. The executive discovered that multiple large checks were deposited into your account over the past 2 weeks. Each deposit was significant enough to trigger the bank's monitoring algorithms. What makes these deposits suspicious is their source. The checks came from accounts that have been flagged by other financial institutions. The bank's cross-reference system immediately detected this connection. The compliance department has a database of problematic account holders. When money flows from these flagged sources into regular customer accounts, it creates what they call a contamination risk. Your account is now linked to this network of flagged transactions. The executive can see the entire chain of money movement, and your account sits right in the middle of it. Banks investigate these situations because they're required by federal law to monitor unusual activity. The executive has no choice but to follow protocol, even if you had nothing to do with arranging these deposits. The person or company that sent you these checks may have been involved in activities that violated banking regulations. Now that connection extends to your account. The executive has spent hours tracing the money back to its original source. What they found has made your case a priority review. The deposits didn't come from normal business transactions or legitimate sources. Your account has been placed on a watch list that gets reviewed every few hours. The executive receives updates whenever any new activity occurs. Type secure in the comments now to receive the financial protection information the banks don't want revealed. You may have already received subtle signs that this investigation is underway. Banks rarely tell customers directly when compliance reviews begin. Have you noticed your online banking taking longer to load recently? Sometimes the system runs slower when additional monitoring software is tracking your account activity. Your debit card might have been declined for unusual purchases, even when you had enough money in your account. This happens when extra security protocols are activated during investigations. Phone calls from unknown numbers claiming to verify your identity could be part of the review process. The bank contracts with third-party companies to conduct these background checks. The executive has access to your complete banking history going back several years. They're comparing your current deposit patterns with everything you've done before. Every transaction you've made is being analyzed by specialized software. The system looks for connections between your spending habits and the suspicious deposits. Your account has been cross-referenced with databases from other banks. If you have accounts elsewhere, those institutions may have already been contacted about this investigation. The executive has reviewed your credit report, employment history, and any loan applications you've submitted. They're building a complete financial profile to understand if these deposits fit your normal income patterns. Security cameras from bank branches you've visited are being reviewed. The compliance team wants to see if you personally deposited any of the suspicious checks. The investigation has expanded beyond just your account. Anyone who has transferred money to you recently is now being reviewed as well. If you want access to the exclusive banking insider secrets that could save your account, you can give super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or more. This unlocks professional level financial protection strategies that most people never learn about until it's too late. The investigation is escalating quickly now. Type 888 to access the account protection information you need immediately. The executive has escalated your case to the Senior Compliance Review Board. This means multiple bank officials are now involved in deciding your account's future. A formal investigation file has been created with your name on it. This document will follow you in the banking system even after the situation is resolved. The compliance department has contacted federal banking authorities about your case. When deposits reach certain thresholds from flagged sources, banks are required to file reports with government agencies. Your Social Security number has been entered into a tracking system that monitors financial activity across multiple institutions. Other banks will now see alerts if you try to open new accounts. The executive has discovered additional deposits that weren't initially detected. The investigation keeps growing as more suspicious transactions are uncovered. Internal bank communications about your case are being documented and saved. These records become permanent parts of your banking profile. The review board meets twice per week to discuss cases like yours. Your account will be presented at their next meeting, which happens in less than 24 hours. A risk assessment score has been calculated for your account. This number determines what actions the bank will take. The higher the score, the more severe the consequences. The executive has the authority to freeze your account immediately. If they determine the risk is too high, they don't need additional approval once certain thresholds are reached. Time is running out for a favorable resolution. The longer this investigation continues, the more likely it becomes that your account will face serious restrictions. Type Protect right now to receive the critical banking information that could save your account from closure. The executive has uncovered the true source of the suspicious deposits in your account. The checks came from a company that was recently shut down by federal investigators for financial violations. This company had been operating under multiple business names to hide their activities from banking authorities. They used a network of accounts to move money around and avoid detection by compliance systems. Your account received payments from this company during their final weeks of operation. The executive can see that you were one of dozens of people Who received these problematic deposits? The bank's legal department has been consulted about your case. They're determining what liability the bank faces for allowing these transactions to process through their systems. Federal investigators have requested copies of all records related to this company's banking activity. Your account information will be included in this government investigation. The executive discovered that the company used stolen banking information to create fake business accounts. The money that ended up in your account may have originally been taken from other victims. Banking regulations require immediate action when accounts are connected to criminal investigations. The executive has no choice but to follow federal compliance requirements. Regardless of your personal involvement, your case has been marked as high priority because of this criminal connection. The bank must protect itself from potential legal consequences by taking swift action on all related accounts. For exclusive access to advanced account protection strategies used by banking professionals, you can give super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or more. This unlocks insider knowledge about how to navigate banking investigations and protect your financial reputation during compliance reviews. Type 999 immediately to access the emergency financial protection protocols that could prevent your account from being frozen. The investigation has reached its final phase. The executive is preparing their official recommendation for your account status. All documentation has been compiled into a comprehensive case file. This includes transaction histories, source verification reports, and risk assessment calculations. The file will be presented to senior management within hours. The bank's automated systems are ready to implement whatever decision is made. If the recommendation is account closure, the freeze will happen instantly across all their computer networks. Your account balance and transaction history have been analyzed by advanced fraud detection software. The system has calculated the probability that you were knowingly involved with the suspicious deposits. The executive has reviewed similar cases from the past year. Most accounts connected to this type of investigation face immediate restrictions or permanent closure. Banking regulations give institutions broad authority to protect themselves from potential losses. The executive has the power to act unilaterally based on their professional judgment. Time has run out for additional evidence gathering. All investigation activities must be completed today, so the final decision can be implemented tomorrow morning. The Compliance Review Board will make their determination based solely on the executive's recommendation. They rarely override decisions made by experienced compliance officers. Your banking relationship with this institution hangs in the balance. Years of account history could be terminated if the executive determines the risk is too high. The next few hours will determine whether your account survives this investigation or becomes another casualty of banking compliance requirements. Type resolution now to discover how this investigation ends and what you can do to protect your financial future immediately. The executive has made their final decision about your account. After reviewing all evidence and consulting with the legal department, they determined that you were an innocent recipient of the suspicious deposits. Your account will remain open, but new security measures have been implemented. All future deposits will be subject to enhanced monitoring for the next 6 months. The bank has filed the required reports with federal authorities, but your account has been cleared of any wrongdoing. The investigation showed no evidence that you knew about the criminal activities of the company that sent the deposits. Protective measures are now in place to prevent similar situations in the future. Your account has been flagged for positive monitoring rather than suspicious activity. Type secure to lock in the banking protection strategies that will keep your account safe forever.